Hey, so I thought I'd talk about looted wagons for orcs, because I love orcs, I love looted wagons, and I'd like to talk about sort of designing your own rules, and I thought I'd start by talking about the Don't Press Dat rule for looted wagons, which we have currently, because I love it. I love the fact that it's like a holdover to whatever the vehicle used to be, and you put the gear stick in the top gear and it shoots forwards. I love the idea that it will sort of lurch forwards. I love the idea so much that I thought you could build a looted wagon. Anyway, so I thought the Don't Press Dat button, the rule for it, could be. It's a really good sort of hook for. It's a hook for you. A hook for the different sort of races, vehicles. So you sort of have a looted Imperial vehicle, or a looted Tau, or Aeldari, or like a looted sort of Carnifex from Tyranids, and you could have different breakdowns of Don't Press Dats for the different races. So I thought I've written a few down, and I thought I'd just sort of read them out to you, and so that you can maybe think about them and maybe use them in your games. Let me know how they went, or you could sort of build upon them. So let's have a go. So the Imperial one is the sort of one we're most familiar with. So for you, if you have an Imperial vehicle like a Leman Russ battle tank or something like that, Astra Militarum, and you roll you Don't Press Dats, you would just lurch forward the full move. So that's Imperial vehicles are really robust, they're really simple. You could even use that for the rock grinder for Gene Stealers. It's an Imperial vehicle essentially that's been sort of taken over by Gene Stealers, that's taken over by orcs. Anyway, so you'd have that. So the next one is Astartes, and that would work for Loyalist Astartes and sort of Heretic Astartes. So you roll Don't Press Dat, and the machine spirit of Loyalist, or the sort of demonic possessions or something, rebels against the orc occupants, and you would kill D3 orc occupants if it's a transport vehicle, or you would remove D3 sort of wounds from the vehicle. So that's sort of the vehicle rebelling against you. And then I thought we could have Mechanicus vehicles, and they're sort of even more complex than Imperial and Astartes vehicles. So you would merge the two results together, and you would have that it lurches forward, and you kill some guys or you lose some wounds. Now, the Aeldari and Drukhari and Ynnari and Harlequin, and I don't think I missed any more out, pointy ears vehicles, they're really interesting because there's so many different sort of upgrades for the vehicles. There were sort of the star engines and hollow fields, and I think you can really take an Eldar looted vehicle and sort of really run with it. But I thought you could roll you Don't Press Dat, and you could either move your sort of full distance, sort of akin to the star engines, or sort of your full distance and then some more, and sort of roll dice for that. Or you could also have your vehicle suddenly becomes cloaked and you gain a vulnerable save, or you become like a -1 to hit or something like that. I really like the idea that it's a really sort of complicated and alien piece of technology that an orc wouldn't know what they were doing, and like really wouldn't know what they were doing compared to Imperial vehicles, and it would just sort of shoot off or just sort of become invisible. I think that's a really cool idea. To me, that's quite evocative and thematic, so that's quite cool. So for the Necron vehicles, aside from the fact that they would phase out, if you could you'd have to get an orc mech to sort of cast a force field over the vehicles to stop them phasing out, to then loot them and then sort of stop them phasing out. But aside from that, it would be really cool to have, I really like the sort of the living metal aspect of Necrons, and I think it would be really cool if you sort of rolled your Don't Press Dat, and rather than it being a movement, You could have the sort of living metal sort of change the shape and sort of fight against the orcs, but not to the same extent that Astartes would fight. And it would sort of close up the barrels of guns, or sort of warp them, or maybe seal closed sort of vision slits so the orcs could sort of carve their way through the metal of the vehicle, and then it would reseal. And you could have negative modifiers to the ballistic skill of the vehicle. I think that would be quite cool. So that brings us to Tau, and everyone knows that Tau are a weapons sort of shooting army, and that's sort of what they're renowned for, their sort of battlesuit systems and that sort of thing. I really like that. I really like Tau. But if you were to roll your Don't Press stats for Tau, you could sort of, rather than moving or having a negative modifier, you could sort of maybe randomly determine half or a certain number, maybe roll a d6 and that many weapons. Different weapons could shoot at, sort of be controlled by your own opponent. And then you wouldn't move or you wouldn't shoot, but you would just sort of be stationary and you would sort of swirl around and just shoot a load of orcs, because the sort of the intelligence that's still remaining in the vehicle is still trying to get target priority and sort of take away the orcs that are about. So I think that would be quite cool. And that finally takes us to Tyranids. I really like seeing Carnifexes with the sort of the brain implant sort of right into their skulls. I really like the idea that you could have an orc riding on the back of a Trigon or a Carnifex, or the big monsters. So I think it'd be really cool if you, when you roll your Don't Press stats, you could then go to the instinctive behaviours that we are sort of familiar with. I don't have the new codex, I'm sorry, so I couldn't tell you what the instinctive behaviours were, but you could sort of, once you've rolled your result, you could either like randomly determine to shoot at the nearest orc unit, or to charge the nearest orc unit, or even to sort of fall back into sort of try and fall back into cover. I think that would be quite cool. So that's sort of some of my ideas to take a looted vehicle. Everyone sort of takes, it was sort of, you'd have a whole variety of looted vehicles that you would have on the table. And once you rolled your Don't Press Dat, it was sort of a uniform. Everybody did the same thing. Everybody sort of lurched forwards in an Eldar and a Tau and a Land Raider and stuff, and it would all be the same. And I know it's harder to do in a game. I always forget rules that are different. But I think there's a cool kind of theme and a sort of a story to the vehicles and how they would operate on the table. You could have different results for Don't Press Dat. So that's sort of been one of my musings. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you do play, it doesn't have to be with my ones, but if you play with sort of altered Don't Press Dats, let me know how it went and what you think about it. It'd be really cool to find out. That's been a sort of amusing, and how the sort of story can influence rules. And yeah, thanks for watching. It'd be really cool if you let me know what happened.